What up, YouTube? You may have seen online the many smash or pass Pokemon vids. Well, I decided to do a little yoink and twist of my own and rank them based on their political leanings. I hope you like the video. If you do, make sure you subscribe, like, and comment, and we'll do more content like this. I think it's really fun. Let's get to the video. Bulbasaur, a child. Democrat because his parents are, I would say, probably. Classic. Ivysaur. Maybe a little bit cringe on Reddit, but still a Democrat. This is like a family thing. And then Venusaur is literally Joe Biden. Charmander doesn't care about politics. Charmeleon surfs 4chan a lot. Charizard, the Republican version of a Venusaur. You know what I'm saying? They both probably hold the same beliefs, but they hate each other for some reason. Very weird. Squirtle, gang affiliated. Ivysaur, gang affiliated, but cool. Blastoise supports the military-industrial complex. I don't know what to tell you. Caterpie doesn't even really have a brain. This is like most people in the world, I would say. Metapod, Sheeple, hiding, maybe believes in conspiracy theories. And then Butterfree is like a well-adjusted human being. I'm actually a big fan of Butterfree here. Weedle is like Caterpie, but worse. Kakuna is just the 4chan version of conspiracy theories. This is like my stepbrother who believes in some weird shit. You don't want to get into it, but let's just say Kakuna is not vaxxed. Beedrill. Oh, Beedrill is tough. Beedrill is just like a teacher. Beedrill's just like a normal human being. Maybe like a journalist, doesn't really reveal their political slant, but also doesn't harass people. Shout out to you, Beedrill. Pidgey is a person that believes in conspiracy theories, kind of like Weedle. Look at that open mouth. This is like a sky is falling. Russia is going to nuke us all. Believes in everything that is happening right now. Probably vaxxed, but doesn't do drugs. Pidgeotto is a teenager who's too cool for politics. You know what I'm saying? They got really into yoga when they went to summer camp one year. And when they got back, they were like, hey, both sides are the same, you know? I just don't believe in this. Probably want to join the Peace Corps. Pidgeot is that, but taken to a level that's actually reasonable. You know what I mean? Pidgeot is like, hey, both sides are the same, but I'm going to do something about it in the world. I'm going to go out here and I'm going to volunteer. I'm going to give back to the community. I think Pidgeot, based. Rattata, it doesn't actually vote, is very loud but refuses to vote for some reason, but doesn't tell his friends. You know what I'm saying? And then Raticate is a Republican. What are you gonna do? Also doesn't tell his friends. Socialist, but the kind that scare you a little bit, not the kind that are gonna like volunteer at a soup kitchen. And then Firo is the kind of person that'll throw a brick through a window during a rally. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it goes. Democrat. Pikachu, we were talking about this before. The reason we're doing this is because of Pikachu. Pikachu is actually the ultimate centrist. Pikachu will say anything. Pikachu is the Ludwig of Pokemon. You will never know Pikachu's true opinions, and it will continue to stack up the cash for the rest of its life. And you'll be like, well, that was kind of weird. Never really knew what Pikachu was thinking. Raichu is the same way, but people care less. This is the smaller YouTuber version of the Ludwig Pikachu. Sandshrew. Sandshrew is alt-right. I don't want to say it. I thought Sandshrew was one of my favorite Pokemon, but I've just seen some things online that really upset me. And then Sandslash is like that, but they also wear like those tactical belts. You know the meme of the guy that walked into a Ben & Jerry's, but he's got like guns everywhere and a knife? That's him. Sandslash wants to make sure that no one is treading on him when he goes to the park with his daughter. Nidoran, female, sick, girl power, wants to be in the NFL when she grows up, wants to be the first woman in the NFL. I believe in her. Nidorina, she's actually, she won state championship. She was a kicker for her high school team. I believe in her. Nido Queen. You know what? She never made the NFL, but she's really happy now. Has a couple of kids, divorced, but really enjoyed her life. Nidoran, male, kind of cringe, likes prank videos on YouTube, obviously doesn't vote. Nidorino, even more cringe, still likes prank videos on YouTube, doesn't vote. Nidoking, an alcoholic. Clefairy, doesn't know they're gay yet. Very gay, very proud, very cool. Vulpix, a weeb, doesn't vote. Ninetales, a weeb, does vote. Really likes any policy that Asian countries implement. Jigglypuff, choir kid, band kid, talks about politics a lot, but doesn't vote. What are you doing? Rock the vote out here, Jigglypuff. Wigglytuff, also the same way. Getting you to sign so many change.org petitions. These change.org petitions aren't doing anything, Wigglytuff. What are you doing to me? Zubat. Oh, the kind of person that retweets propaganda. If you think Zubat isn't retweeting some shit about the virus or about Russia right now, you don't know what you're talking about. And then Golbat is the one who makes that propaganda. You know what I mean? There's like a bit of an engine here. Oddish. Idealist. Probably a Democrat. Wants to vote. Maybe wants to run for office when it grows up. Gloom. Jaded. Got a political science degree, maybe from Arizona State University. Realized that politics isn't all it's cracked up to be. Maybe got into esports, became a streamer. Who knows? Vileplume. Came to terms with everything. Understands that politics is important. We can't actually just back away from it. We have to exercise our civic duty. And even though there are some cringe things in the world, they make sure to do their part. Paris. Just does a bunch of mushrooms. Parasect. Does even more mushrooms, says that they saw time elves one time, and you don't really know if they believe that. Venonat, like second generation immigrant that's running for office and is trying to change things for the better. I think that that's what I'm seeing, you know what I mean? Whereas Venomoth is like proud parent. You know, they were the first generation, they got here to give their child a better life, and their child is using that life to do something big. I respect that. Diglett, lonely. Trying to find an in-group. Doesn't vote or is willing to vote whatever other people say. Dugtrio, a Diglett that found communism on the internet. Nice job, Diglett. You found your group. Meowth is a libertarian. This is literally Ben Shapiro.
Bring a bucket and a mop for this wet-ass P-word.
A grifter. A full-on grifter. And then Persian is just Fox News. It's like a grifter, but you don't actually have to do the content. You just make the money. Psyduck is very confused about politics. One day they're voting one way, one day they're voting the other. They basically just take whatever they see on Twitter or Facebook and think it's real. Golduck is the same way. You ever go to like a party with your family, your friends, your neighborhood, and there's the one guy that's like, hey, did you hear about what's happening in Zimbabwe? And they're going to tell you some wild shit, and you will have no idea if it's real or not. Half the time you'll look it up and you'll be like, damn, Golduck is based. And then half the time you'll be like, this guy believes in the secret space program. Mankey is, I don't know, like a kid who, not like an incel, doesn't like the other kids, wants to go live in the woods, obviously doesn't vote. And then Primeape is like an anarcho-primitivist. Primeape wants to go live in the woods and build some bombs. You know what I'm saying? This guy is absolutely trying to make sure that we don't reach this technological singularity because he believes that the AI is going to take us all down. Growlithe, a young Republican. This kid is going to go to the same law school his dad went to and get an internship that puts him ahead in life. And this is his dad. Obviously like a Goldwater Republican. A classic situation. Poliwag, too young to vote. A little quiet. Probably hears everything but is scared to say their true point. Poliwhirl is definitely like a high school Democrat. Hey, we got to band together, guys. This is like a high school kid who can't vote but is telling everyone to vote for Bernie. And then Poliwrath is someone who's going out there and beating people. Remember like when Buzz Aldrin, the astronaut, punched that guy who said he didn't go to the moon? This guy's like, hey, if you don't vote for Bernie, I'm going to burn your house down. Abra, quiet kid. You'd never know their political affiliation. Kadabra, you can see it. Born with a silver spoon. They're starting to realize that, you know what? They come from a family with money, but that's okay. They worked hard. If anyone worked hard, they could pull themselves up by the bootstraps. And then Alakazam has seized all the means of production. This is an oligarch. This is like a Zuckerberg situation. This is Microsoft man whose family was rich, so he got to drop out of college. This is Bill Gates. What are you going to do? Bill Gates is not doing anything to help us politically here. Machop is only interested in physical fitness, but is slowly getting red-pilled by YouTube videos. Machoke is fully red-pilled by YouTube videos. He went from physical fitness to women. I deserve sex from women. And then Machamp, I don't even think I can say it out loud, but it's a natural acceleration of that, and it's not good. It's not good, and we don't like it. Bellsprout, a homie, but a little bit of a sheep. Probably votes Democrat, but doesn't really know why. Very similar to Psyduck and Zubat. Shares a lot of propaganda, but probably for a side that I most align with, so I care about it less. Is that fair? No. But that's how it goes. We're all people. And then Victory Bell. Victory Bell is just a staunch feminist. Rosie the Riveter gear everywhere on the car. Voted for Hillary. Wants to get more women in office. Really big pushing for AOC right now. Tentacool. Just watches a bunch of tentacle porn. Doesn't care about politics in the slightest, but comes everywhere like a fucking fire hose. Tentacruel the same way, but he's an adult, and now it's very scary. Geodude. What is Geodude? Not a lot to work with on Geodude. A little bit angry. Maybe like parents got divorced and it's really putting him through some paces. Probably falls for subtle manipulation on the internet. I'm thinking maybe libertarian. He wants to go to less laws. He thinks that everyone should have the freedom to do what they want, including heroin. Graveler loves drugs. Yeah, look at that. Look at that face. Look at those arms. This guy is like, he wants to legalize everything. Graveler would invent Silk Road. Straight up. And then Golem, I think, is actually just a homie. Golem grew out of it. You can see based on like the hard outer shell that has been developed. You know what? They legalized everything. I did my fair amount of black tar heroin as a teen and young adult, but now I just want to live a regular life. Ponyta is a horse girl. Doesn't care about politics. Rapidash is a horse girl grown up. Republican. Slowpoke, too stupid. Doesn't really understand politics at all. Slowbro. Too stupid, but does vote. Kind of a scary thing. I think everyone should vote, but I'm very worried about Slowbro voting. And the more Slowbros there are, the scarier it gets. Magnemite. Magnemite browse. Yeah, Magnemite is into crypto, I think, which would make them a libertarian. And then Magneton is the natural evolution of that when crypto bros get together and just basically ruin the world. It's a tough time. Magneton, we don't like him. Democrat. Ooh. Ooh, a true centrist? 2 heads, 2 minds? Wow, I love that. I think Doduo is a centrist and Dodrio is a conspiracy theorist because eventually you can't hold that many beliefs in your head at a time without being legally insane. You know what I mean? Seal. To me, Seal's not even a human being, so it can't vote. Seal is just a dog, right? Look at this face. You can't assume that this dog is going to vote. It would be like having my dog Sophie vote. But what's crazy is that Seal is a dog, but Dugong is a person. And Dugong is for sure like a Midwestern mom. And her husband votes Republican and she votes Democrat, but they don't let it split them up. You know what I mean? They love each other either way. Apolitical, I would say. I also think apolitical. To me, Grimer and Muck are people who completely disavow politics. I'm imagining Muck chilling on her lazy boy recliner, popping a couple beers, and going to work at like a desk job, but you know what? Something he doesn't care about. Or maybe he manages a McDonald's, you know what I mean? He doesn't care that maybe there's some adults working minimum wage jobs there. He's just a manager. What's he supposed to do? He's not Mr. Ronald. Conspiracy theorist. That, but actually alt-right. Really just wants to nuke other countries for some reason. I don't understand why. Ghastly. Ghastly's dead. Can't vote. Haunter. Haunter's dead. Can't vote. Gengar. Gengar voted for Trump. What are you going to do? Onyx is into the swinging lifestyle and as such doesn't care about politics, except as a way to make sure that we're legalizing public sex acts. Drowsy. Not allowed within 5 blocks of a school. Hypno. In prison. Can't vote. Krabby is very public about their political opinions on Facebook, but you don't really care. It's like, hey, you know what? They're probably right about some things, maybe wrong about other things, but they're not mean about it. And Kingler is the same way, you know? They're just out there, maybe even a less aggressive version of Krabby, as crazy as that sounds. Voltorb, alt-right. Electrode, alt-right and stormed the Capitol. Execute. Career criminal, hates politicians. Probably involved in a heist at one point. Executor, escaped down to Mexico. This is like the end of Shawshank Redemption. You know what I mean? He was a criminal at one point in his life, but now he's out and he's just sipping fucking Mai Tais on the beach. Not every Pokemon is alt-right or criminal. There was also a dog. Cubone is... Oh, I was trying to be nice to him. We've just gotten into a lot of Pokemon that seem to be... clan members. He's got a hood on. He's got a hood on. What do you want me to do? He's got the boat. He's going out here. He's breaking some kneecaps. This is some American History X shit. I don't want it to be. I'm sorry, but that's what I'm seeing with it. Marowak, even worse. This is the Grand Dragon, dude. I don't like it. I don't like it at all, and so I'm just gonna move on. Very into martial arts. Tweets Bruce Lee quotes all the time. Votes Democrat. Ooh, interesting. I think Republican because they are capitalist in a way, you know what I'm saying? The kind of people who would order pay-per-view voxing, maybe started their own business at a time when America was better for new businesses. Lickitung is a stoner. Doesn't vote. Coughing. owns profiteers through, what do they call it? Carbon credits. They run a company that supposedly does carbon credit offsets, but actually they're just throwing stuff into the river. It's very cringe. Wheezing is also doing that, but they're slowly getting poisoned by their own pollution. And so maybe there's a just ending here for Wheezing. Rhyhorn is a socialist. Believes in strong public programs, libraries, buses, public transportation. Rhydon, the same way, but actually did better. Rhydon is using every means at their disposal to make sure that they are helping their common man. Similar to Dugong, probably like, or maybe this is like the California mom, very liberal, takes their kid to soccer game, brings all the snacks, definitely was pro-vax on social media. Yeah, but if your party goes past 10 p.m., she is calling the cops. She feels bad about it, and she will tell her husband, like, we were partiers once, but not like this. And you know what? That's a thing that happens. Deep in the internet, doesn't know what's real or not, probably schizophrenic. Single mother, jaded with the system. Still votes because she thinks that it's the right thing to do, but doesn't believe in the system helping her. Horsey, child, doesn't vote. Cedra, Republican. Very pro-sex worker. Sex worker. A weeb. Staryu's a weeb. Probably doesn't vote. Huge weeb. Star Me. A weeb, but also owns a katana. You know what I'm saying? Like the kind of person that would put it above the fireplace. Alt-right. Alt-right. Prime Minister of Canada in 20 years. A union man. Worked on the lines his whole life, has a great pension and retirement, but doesn't do enough to help current unions. Republican. Mean Republican. Naturalist. Loves Teddy Roosevelt, believes in the national park system, but doesn't actually go to national parks. Kind of like someone who just sits at home. Magikarp doesn't vote. Libertarian. Democrat. This is literally non-existent human being. This is someone with no political opinions. This is Ludwig. Just like Pikachu. Pikachu and Ditto is the Ludwig. This is the centrist who also gets votes from Republicans. This is someone who says they're centrist, but takes advantage of being white. Wow. Eevee is white privilege as a Pokemon, and I never actually realized it. Vaporeon. Sex worker. Democrat. Democrat. Believes that all governments should be run by DAOs, decentralized autonomous organizations, and you vote with your crypto. Oh, this is someone who's extinct, right? This is the kind of person who was like, Lincoln was a Republican and doesn't understand that times have changed. This is Grandpa. This is Grandpa, but when you looked in his war medals, you saw some swastikas and you're a little concerned. Doesn't vote. I mean, if Scyther was alt-right, I think Kabutops has got to be alt-right. But this is alt-right of a different era. This is like a person who was against Brown v. Board of Education. You know what I mean? This was the last generation of cringers. Democrat. Just wants to grill. Centrist. Articuno. Democrat. Zapdos. Socialist. Moltres. Communist? I would say young Democrat in high school, but hides it because they're in a school full of Republicans. I would say the same thing still kind of hides it. And this is loud and proud Democrat. You know what I mean? At one point, you're blue, but you don't want people to know. And then all of a sudden, you just absolutely go out there and say, no, this is how I feel. This is literally a Koch brother, a Koch brother. Are they still alive? He uses his money to fund politicians. Mewtwo is the reason Trump is in power. And then Mew is an imaginary being. It is like Mew is the honest and just billionaire. Just doesn't exist. You can't be a just billionaire. It doesn't happen. It's too much money. No one needs that. Ladies and gentlemen, I think I have to stop on 151 because it would literally take me the rest of my life, and I don't know other Pokemon. I think this was good. I think we learned a lot about Pokemon, and I think we learned a lot about ourselves here. And maybe we'll do it again, because I do know Gen 2. Maybe we'll do Gen 2, but not politically. Maybe we'll do Gen 2, but how good they'd be at sports. Or something silly. I think the sillier we get, the better. Good video, though. Good time. Fun. You lolled so many times. I'm hoping that our Yoink and Twist was good.